What's up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, and I'm sure you have all heard this saying, it's a small world after all. And in fact, at Disney World, they have that ride and they all sing, it's a small world after all. Alright, anyway, I don't need to put my singing abilities on full display here. You all will have to send a super thanks for that. But you've heard the term, or you've heard the phrase, it's a small world. But how small is the world? It's so small that the attorney representing Bryan Kohberger also represented one of his alleged victim's mothers. Xana Kernodle's mother was represented by Bryan Kohberger's court-appointed attorney. But now, we're hearing that not only did she represent her, she also represented Maddie's parents as well. So just to be clear here, I'm not the best at math, but that... 3. Kohberger's attorney has represented 3 parents, one of them a step-parent, of these victims. How and why is that okay? I understand it's a small world, right? It's a small town. But they can't find anyone else at all? I mean, it's going to be really awkward for this family to sit down facing their lawyer. Oh, you just represented me last month. Oh, and now you're going against me. Now you're trying to show the world that Kohberger didn't kill my kid? And not too long ago, you were defending me in court? I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. Hey, it's the law. This is what happens. I don't care. I'm going off of feelings here. That doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. I do not like this. And then what's going to happen? Let's be honest here, folks. What's going to happen? Bryan Kohberger gets found guilty. And then there's going to be this big hoopla. This big uproar of, wait. But wait. Bryan Kohberger's lawyer was their lawyer too. So instead of going through all that, let's save ourselves the headache and the trouble, and let's find Kohberger a different lawyer. Because I don't know what's going. I'm going to go ahead and show you all this clip, and then I'm going to be right back with my thoughts because I'm not happy about this at all.
Though, with that exclusive interview that we did with Xana Kernodle's mother, Kara Northington. Like I said, yesterday she said it's a conflict of interest. Not only is it that her lawyer dropped her for her daughter's accused killer, she said she was also my power of attorney, and now says she has no idea who's got control over her. She also says she wasn't even notified that the lawyer was dropping her. She instead learned from social media when her friend saw it and notified her. So as if that weren't a serious issue for Bryan Kohberger's attorney, Ann Taylor may have a bigger problem because it turns out she's also represented 2 other parents, which now makes 3 parents of those murder victims. Maddie Mogen's father, Ben Mogen, and Maddie Mogen's stepmom, Corey Hattrick Mogen, were also represented by this attorney. So think about this. Ann Taylor is representing Bryan Kohberger, but she also represented the parents of Maddie Mogen, the stepmom and the dad. And she also represented the mother of Xana Kernodle. If that isn't a conflict of interest in what very assuredly could end up a death penalty case, then I'm not so sure I know this business anymore. But this, make no mistake, this could be a death penalty case. They just don't get any more serious than that. You cross every T, you dot every I, you vet everything. So my suspicion is we are probably going to have a hearing on this. And there may be even in-camera hearings with the judge who's going to ask that attorney, tell me everything about every meeting your office had, and you in particular had, with those 3 parents of those 4 victims. It doesn't get more serious when you're talking about capital punishment. We're not there yet. They have not said capital punishment yet. That is a critical issue in this case. But I have to be honest, in my line of work, if you're going to have capital punishment, if you're going to have a death penalty, what do you have it for, if not for the kind of crime that Bryan Kohberger is accused of?
Now, personally, I don't see why people are acting as if this is not a big deal. I have never seen anything like this. I'm not saying that things like this don't happen. I'm saying that personally, I've never seen anything like this, and in such a high-profile case where the stakes are as high as they could possibly be because, like she said, the unaliving penalty is on the table. But, you know, she was actively working with one of the victim's mothers when this case came about, and she closed out this other case with another one of the victim's parents 2 days before the Idaho 4 slayings. Now I'm going to hop into this article so you all can have an understanding of what is going on here. The public defender representing Bryan Kohberger previously worked with the father and stepmother of victim Madison Mogen. Court records list Ann Taylor as a member of the defense team on criminal cases involving Benjamin Mogen and his wife, Corey Hatrock. Taylor had also been representing the mother of Zana Coronado in a court case, but stepped down and assigned another lawyer in her place just hours after making her first court appearance alongside Kohberger. Court records show that Taylor served as counsel for Mogen in September 2020 when he was facing 2 misdemeanor drug charges. Mogen eventually entered a guilty plea to one of the charges as part of a deal with prosecutors, according to court records, and was sentenced to 90 days in prison. Taylor worked with Hatrock as recently as June, according to court records, and was part of her legal counsel after she was charged with 1 misdemeanor and 2 felony drug counts. Those records show that Hatrock also made a deal with prosecutors and entered a guilty plea to one of those felony drug counts. Court records show that the case is closed and there has been no activity since before December 28th, just 2 days before Kohberger's arrest, and a week before Taylor became his public defender. Taylor had been actively representing Cara Northington, the mother of Zana Coronado, and she first appeared in court with Kohberger, when she first appeared in court with Kohberger. A substitution of counsel was filed by Taylor a few hours later. So forgive me, I made a mistake there. This case had no activity as of December 28th, which was 2 days before Kohberger got arrested. So that means that this woman was working on this case even after the Idaho 4 slayings. That's just, it's insane to me to think that 2 of these victims' families were represented by the same woman that is going to represent their alleged murderer. And I'm not trying to attack this woman at all. I'm not trying to attack the system. I'm not trying to do any of that. But I have to be honest with my feelings. This does not sit right with me. It definitely seems like a conflict of interest. Also, I'm just going to be honest. It looks like Ann Taylor basically wants this. It looks like Ann Taylor really wants this case. In my opinion. Yeah, she's just doing her job. I'm not trying to demonize her or anything. But it looks like she really wants this case. And people will say, well, this is how things go. No. Public defenders usually do not go this hard for their clients. A public defender, 9 times out of 10, is working against you. Okay? They're not really working for you. Anyone who's been through the legal system can tell you that. Most times, your connection with these court-appointed lawyers, it's really business-like. It's really cold. It's not personal at all. Yet this lady pulled out all the stops. She asked for extra time so she could conduct her own investigation. She hired a team of private investigators to scan the scene and do their own investigation. She literally dropped one of the victim's mothers. Just, hey, you know what? Not representing you anymore. I'm going for Kohberger. Didn't even call her and let her know any of this stuff. At least that's what's being said. Ann Taylor wants this case. Make no mistake about it. She knows it's a high-profile case. It's the most high-profile case she will ever get in that town. And she wants to make her name for herself from it. And I'm not going to blame her for that per se. But I definitely sense that that is what's going on here. Other people will feel differently. Some people will say you're wrong. You're free to feel that way. But in my opinion, this is what Ann wants. Ann thinks that this is her big break or something of that nature because I don't even want to say too much. Just let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you've ever had a court-appointed lawyer, did they ever go out of their way to make sure that you were okay? Did they go out of their way to make sure that you beat these charges or whatever charges you had? I've never seen anything like this in my life. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.